Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor and chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. We're going to pull one card, and that's going to be everything we need to know for the day. What we need to think about and what we need to execute. What is that card for the 8th of July? Give a good shuffle. Let's see what's going on. Alrighty. And the card is, how interesting. It's the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords. Now, if you're new to tarot and you're taking a look at this card, it looks kind of eerie. It looks kind of scary. It looks kind of not what I would call a joyous card. But we're going to talk about it. So, nines, right? Nines in tarot, the ninth major arcana is the Hermit. And the Hermit comes directly after Strength. So we've gotten in touch with what our strengths are, but now we need to sit with a little bit. And that's where we move into the Hermit's world. The Hermit is depicted as an older man walking. Each step is only illuminated by what he can see from his lantern. So there's black and void outside of the lantern lit next step. So it's really using the strength you've just discovered you had and starting to plot out your next illuminated steps, right? So that's what holds this card, is the Hermit, right? And the Hermit, they're excellent at retreating to gain the knowledge and the understanding that they can then push out into the world, right? So they retreat, they gain knowledge, and then they go forth with the knowledge to bring it to collective. So this is a minor arcana, numbered 9, knowing that we have the Hermit energy under it. Swords are air, our thoughts. It's all about our mental thoughts, our mental capacity. And so this obviously is taking a retreat like the Hermit, but it's a retreat of worry, concern, stress, anxiety. It's almost not a feeling of defeat, but a feeling of getting to a point of defeat, getting to a point where it's uncontrollable, getting to a point where there's concern, right? Major concern. And it's keeping you up at night, because of the way that Pamela Coleman Smith depicted this card is it's a person in bed, sitting up in bed. So it's nighttime, it's dark, right? In their room, and there's sanctuary, a place where we can be ourselves, but they're in concern, they're worried, they're crying. And there's 8 swords right over their head. So, nines are an interesting number because in numerology, we've got 1 through 9, and then we have 10. 10 is completion. 10, in numerology, we know that we take a double digit and reduce it to a single digit. So 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we go right back from where we've gotten to, back to the beginning, or to a new chapter, right? So 1 through 10, and then 1 through 10 again, and then again and again, and the cycle continues. So the good news in this card is that it's numbered 9, and 9s are one step away from being completion. So all of this worry is kind of for naught, because eventually whatever they're concerned about, whatever you're concerned about, whatever's keeping you up at night, is going to either rectify itself, annihilate itself, or end, right? Just end. Eventually. Very soon, actually. Because swords are pretty quick, right? Wands are the fastest, but the suit of swords comes in as the second runner-up to being quick in the tarot. Because it is all about thoughts. We can think a million things in a day. We can change our mind, right? So you can go from one thing to another in a blink of an eye, right? So wands are the quickest suit if you're looking for timing in the tarot. Swords come as a close second. So the ending to whatever this individual is worried about is coming soon. Maybe that's what they're concerned about. Maybe they're thinking, I've been working at this job for so long and they're doing layoffs and I kind of think I'm going to be laid off. And maybe that's why they're up in bed thinking, how am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to pay the bills? But the good news of this card is maybe that job, you can find something better, So maybe that job wasn't really doing what you think it did. Yeah, it paid the bills, but maybe you can do something else that'll not only pay the bills, but make you happy in the process. Make your mind more useful rather than whatever, factory work, which is important, but it's, what I mean? It's monotonous. It's the same thing all the time. Your brain isn't working. You're not doing something that's mentally challenging. And maybe that's what you need, right? Maybe the job that you're losing is good because you can move on to something that's going to challenge you a little more. I understand. I've been there. So I know. Keeps you up at night. It makes you worry. So we're looking to take this card and kind of think about it today. What are you concerned about? What's keeping you up at night? And how can we think about it as, okay, let it end. It's not who I am. It's not what my mental capacity needs. I need something else. I need something else. So, 9 of Swords. Yeah. Let's bring that into the kitchen. I'm thinking, right? This person's up in the middle of the night. What I would do is yes, I'd probably have a good cry, but then I'd be like, you know what? I can't stay here in this room being all upset. I'm going to move into the kitchen and I'm going to make myself a midnight snack. Just because it'll give my mind something else to do in focusing on mise en place and cooking, and that's very focused work. So it'll take my mind maybe off of what I'm sitting in bed just worrying, and that's not doing good for anybody, not even me. So let's move into the kitchen. Midnight snacks made into meals. So for breakfast, I'm thinking banana energy bites. So bananas have potassium. Potassium help our, it helps our mental structure, right? It helps bring it up into a little bit of a higher state. So banana energy bites are a banana that you can roll in peanut butter and then dust with either nuts or granola, or, if you can't have nuts, roll it in granola or something else, right, that's crunchy. And then you can cut it into little circles, right, that are about an inch and a half thick. Pop them in your mouth. They're delicious. And it's summer, so you can even freeze them. And then they're icy cold coming out of the freezer. Delicious. That's breakfast. It's got your peanut butter, always makes me happy. Well, if you can't have nuts, you can use like a, what's it called? There's a no nut butter. It's made with sunflower seeds. Yeah, so if you can't have nuts, you know what the options are, and you can use that. So that's great, delicious. It'll keep your mind off of your worries as you're building this really fun food that's not only fun to make, fun to eat, and hopefully it'll just bring a little bit of spark away from the clouds. Moving on to lunch. I'm thinking a cilantro lime sardine salad. Now hear me out on this. We're going for foods that change your mood. And sardines have an ability to just make you happier. It gives you lacklustering nutrients that you may not constantly get from other foods. And when you get them by eating a sardine, it lifts you up, makes you happy. Look it up. So a cilantro lime sardine salad. So if you've never had sardines and you're kind of like, ew, you can buy a tinned fish that's sardines. They're really good. They really are. And you put them over salad, of course. The lime, the acid from the lime is going to take away a little of their pungency. If you've never had a sardine before and they may seem a little fishy to you, the lime juice will take that away, or at least make it a little more minimalistic. And then you're going to slice an avocado in half, take out the pit, and the salad, the sardine salad, is going to be put inside the avocado. Think about this as a midnight snack, not anything huge that you have to go into all four corners of your kitchen for. It's put together quickly, and it's something you can eat quickly, right? In the middle of the night. Take your mind off of what you're thinking about. So yeah, cilantro. If you don't like it, use parsley, right? Some people can't eat cilantro. It tastes like soap to them. So don't use cilantro. Use parsley, use a fresh herb, whatever you've got in your fridge. Make the sardine salad with the lime juice, right? And the oils from the can. And then the cilantro on top, which is adding another little bit of flavor. That goes into the creamy avocado. Delicious. Eat it with a spoon, standing up in front of your sink. It's really good. Okay, moving on. Dinner. So what's better in the middle of the night than breakfast? So I'm thinking eggs. We're going to have breakfast for dinner. So you get yourself a wrap, whatever flavor you like, and you get some eggs and you scramble them up. You add a little sea salt. If you want to, you can zhuzh them up in any way you like. If you have a handful of leftover whatever from last night's dinner, throw it in. Whip it up. Get your pan hot on the stove, add butter. Then you pour in the eggs and you kind of scramble them to begin with, but then you let them set so that they can be moved in one round piece. You tilt your pan and you move the eggs now onto a plate, and you put the tortilla now in the bottom of the pan. That should be cleanish, but still have butter residue on it. Put your tortilla down. Take the egg off the plate and put it back on top of the tortilla. So now the tortilla is at the bottom and the egg is on the top. And if the egg top is not set, then you can add a lid just to get the top set. From there, if you want to add cheese, terrific. We're not going crazy. We're just making a midnight snack for dinner. And then you're going to tilt the pan a little bit and roll the tortilla over the egg, which the tortilla bottom should now be golden brown. And you roll it over the egg into either a roll, or you just bring it over like a half moon tortilla, right? And you can press it down if you wish, whatever you want to do from there. But I just lift it out of the pan, put it on the plate, squeeze a bottle of ketchup over it, and then eat it over the sink. And that's my dinner. You know, being a chef, I'm cooking all this elaborate food during the day, but when it comes down to feeding myself, I just like simple. Yeah. So an egg and a flaxseed or any kind of wrap that is your go-to, delicious, right? I like ketchup. Use whatever sauce you like. Barbecue sauce, yeah, why not? You know, it's the middle of the night. Nobody knows what you're doing. You're just making yourself a little happier from a worried, anxious, or concerned state. Because it'll all get better. It's a 9. 9s move on to 10s. 10s are completion. It's done. It's over. No need to worry. Right? It'll work itself out, or you will come up with the answers to make it work. That's our card of the day. That's the inspiration for the day. As always, and especially with this card, nourish yourself. Nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. See you tomorrow.